All right, before we go live here with our Wednesday night reaction show to NXT and AEW, before we turn the lights on this episode of Marked Out Wrestling Podcast here in the Marked Out Studios, we are fortunate enough to have an audience that goes beyond the United States. We have listeners in countries all around the world, including those in the Middle East and Northern Africa. So I want to send, on behalf of the Marked Out crew, I want to send our love, our prayers, our wishes, our hugs, all that to all the people of Beirut, all the mothers, the fathers, the sons, the daughters, grandparents, et cetera, who lost their life in that tragic situation in Beirut. And we want to say that we stand with you and we love you. So let's talk some wrestling now.
Charlotte, North Carolina, and weight of over 660 pounds, Cody Robb, Adam Bomb, Ionic Brian, the Marked Out Wrestling Podcast.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Marked Out Wrestling Podcast. We're going to discuss who won Wednesday. We're going to put AEW head-to-head with NXT. Real quick take before I get to my hosts and co-hosts here. I want to just say that Wednesday nights, we always talk about how we get this good wrestling from both programs. We continue to get that. We actually get that from Mondays and Fridays too. The biggest difference, I think, is that you're getting some entertainment here on Wednesday nights. You're getting good stories. When you're live and watching something like minor league baseball, it's great to be there live. I would never want to watch that on TV, okay, because you can't just, it's not as good. So when you go to a live wrestling event, it's always really great. You don't necessarily need to connect to the characters. You're watching good wrestling. But here on TV, and the TV level, you have to connect. Both shows, I think, did their part. One might have done it better than the other. We're going to discuss it on Who Won Wednesday. Well, let me bring in my co-host across the table from me is Rody Rob. What's going on, buddy?
Hi, buddy. Nice to see you tonight. I'm excited to be here with you and our other friend. It's not really here, but here.
Yeah,
friend.
the other friend that's not a friend. Yeah. Brian is the one we're talking about here. What's
so
up?
Yeah. Hey, good. Hi. How are the fuck are you? Hey, question for you. You said hosts and co-hosts. What the fuck does that even mean? I thought we're both co-hosts. Obviously, you're hosting Wednesday.
I've got to double bill it.
No. If you're in the studio, you're a host. If you're not, you're a co-host.
Right.
It's very simply defined. Look in the bylaws.
Yeah, and you have parts in your body that's not yours, so you can be plural.
Yes.
That's true. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. There you go. Speaking of it, let me introduce the board. We've got Anaconda Vice.
Speaking of what? I'm sorry, speaking of it.
the other people with us. On our YouTube live chat board, we got John Estrada, Soji, Christopher Stikelether, Anaconda Vice. I saw some more. Let me scroll back. Evan Wright's here as well. Also, we are streaming live on the AEW discussion group on Facebook. If you want to join that group, it's a great group to discuss live during the show. Lots of other good content on there and lots of other good fun games that they play and just some stuff they share. So if you want to join that, contact the admin there as well. Brian's one of them. Hopefully he's not the guy you talk to.
What games do we play?
I was wondering about what games.
What the fuck is that?
I think he was riffing and he just caught himself into a point that it didn't make sense and he went forward.
Yeah, everything that Rob said is 100% accurate.
He is full Vince Russo tonight. So
yeah, you're full of shit.
Oh, my sound effect wasn't there. I had the Vince Russo sound effect.
It's on
fucked me over. There it is.
There you go.
Brian, did you happen to call Eric tonight and leave a message while he was on live?
No, we could play a game of Let's Call Uncle Eric, but I don't know if we should do it tonight. Maybe we should do it next week or something.
He's too busy right now.
Yeah, he's too busy now. 24 years. Anyway, so let's get it going. We're gonna break it down. We're gonna go from the curtain to the main event. Let's start it off. On NXT, we got a number one contenders match for the women. It was hyped beforehand. Dakota Kai and Rhea Ripley. I predicted the ending here, but I got the wrong person. It's like Clue. I got the weapon, I got the room, but I didn't get the right person. It turned out to be Martinez who gets involved here to give Dakota the win to make Rhea saved. But Rob, we go full circle. This is great booking because it brings us back to the Robert Stone brand.
Right. And honestly, what you had thought was going to happen, I didn't hate it, but it was just a completely new chapter, which you got to start fresh somewhere. I get it. This circles back, like you said.
But it's also new. Mercedes Martinez has not interacted with Rhea.
Right. But
Robert Stone brand has, so it's...
So I'm saying it still rolls it back is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I agree with you there.
Do we think this is good, though? We've got Rhea's not in the title picture, but we saved her. She doesn't look weak, and now she's got a new feud in the making away from the belt.
Rhea's always going to have that level of stature because she held the belt, right? And I know people say, oh, somebody got squashed, and, like they relegated somebody down to the mid-card title, and I get all that. I've done that, too. But the fact is, if you're a champion at some point, you do have a level of clout that will always be there. So Rhea's held that belt. She's been at the top of the mountain. So if she
you
falls,
don't need to be Hunter 14 times.
No, if she falls down that mountain for a little bit, and not even in a bad way, that's okay. So putting her against Mercedes, and even if she loses to Mercedes, which I think is actually the more favorable outcome for this, not only for the Robert Stone brand, but for Mercedes' growth as well.
And it's a 3-on-1.
Yeah.
Rhea's going to be fine.
But what? Okay, can I cut you off though? But what about that? That leads me to my point. What about Rhea? Because she was fucking white hot, and now all of a sudden she's losing to a group that is kind of involved with.
Did you listen to anything I just said,
Yeah.
or you were just completely tuned out?
I listened to what you said. You said you were worried about Mercedes Martinez.
No,
You're saying she's red hot. She won a 2-on-1 against a man and a woman.
Wow.
She won that.
Wait, well, hold on. He just misquoted me, and I want to correct the record. I did not say I was worried about anybody. I said the fact that Rhea has had the title and has that clout, that she is still going to be okay, even if she is to lose this feud to Mercedes. She's still going to be fine.
I disagree.
Really? I mean,
No,
really?
No,
can
Brian,
champions...
think about it like Taker. Taker didn't have a ton of title runs. You don't need the title to make you relevant. She's
so
got
Rhea is the Undertaker in NXT.
No. She has it on her resume, is what Rob's saying. So you always have that to fall back on. She'll never not be a former NXT Women's Champion.
And people are shit hot. People are, as you said, white hot, and that's fine. That doesn't mean they can never lose again, or they can never go through a mild or even two loss slump.
No.
I mean,
Okay, I totally agree with that. But this is NXT. Remember, the ultimate goal is to be moved up, right, to Raw and SmackDown. Isn't that what the whole
but
thing
you can't,
is
you
about?
can't put everyone up, Brian.
Yeah, and Brian, everybody who goes up loses before they go
Okay,
up.
but that's not Rhea's problem, right? She was white hot. We were assuming that she was going to go up right after what, WrestleMania or whatever the fuck it was months ago.
It's different now that they have their own show, that they're not moving people up like regular. It was like clockwork before, Brian.
So when it was
on the network, when it was on the
Mm-hmm.
network, Brian, it was like clockwork. September, there's going to be call-ups. Right after Mania, there's going to be call-ups. It was like clockwork when we saw those classes graduate.
And they introduced the relevant story to make this okay. Right? This isn't just some random, this is happening now, Rhea's losing to just fucking random people.
Like my Raquel Gonzalez thing would have been.
Right. This is a full circle storyline, which is what you need for your program. I don't know, Brian, I don't know why you're on the hate train on this one.
Well,
I mean,
I think
all avenues
see things a little bit differently.
I think can I finish my point before you go to the board? I think all avenues lead to a positive outcome here, no matter who wins or loses here. I actually think Mercedes winning this is better for the brand overall.
I agree.
So Anaconda Vice says he agrees with Brian before he flip-flopped and agreed with you at the end there. Stike says, I think Mercedes is going to be Rhea's last opponent before she goes to main roster. That'd be a great way. Put Mercedes over if you want to do it that way.
I don't know. There's a lot of women right now on the main roster who are getting time. I don't know. I don't know where Rhea would fit, but that never stopped them before. So let me just retract my words.
And Evan says, do you think they booked themselves in a corner with Rhea and Mercedes so soon? Rhea still feels cold to me. You don't want Mercedes getting beat so soon. Mercedes won't get beat, and they'll protect Rhea just like they did tonight. She's got Robert Stone and Aaliyah out there to somehow do some fuckery to cost Rhea.
I don't know about that. I mean, the story with Mercedes is don't fuck around with my matches. Book me, don't fuck around with my matches. I see Mercedes winning it clean.
Maybe then she leaves the brand.
Stay with the brand. You at this point, you're elevating not only her as a main player on the women's card, but you're also elevating the Robert Stone brand beyond the funny gimmick that it was. Now it's got some more legitimacy to it with a comic element. So I'm okay with that. Even if Rhea ends up winning here in a program, prevailing over the heel, that's okay too. Heels are supposed to lose, and Rhea's name carries enough weight that it gives Mercedes this push, win or lose. I don't see a negative outcome in this situation at all, and I think that's when you have to say something is good booking, when you don't see a negative outcome regardless of what that outcome could be. And that's just my take.
All right, on the other side, AEW, we've got the 12-man tag match that everybody wanted. Full kayfabe for 1 second. Let's just drop kayfabe. If you have a legitimate 12-man tag match, that match will never fucking end because there are 5 guys that could break the pinup. And they did that a lot tonight. They did a lot of that stuff. At one point, everybody's doing heroin spots. For those new here, that means they're just lying on the ground for no reason. This was better than the 10-man in terms of entertainment, in terms of being a good match, in terms of the wrestling and everything. But at the end, the only consequence is that Brody pin Hangman, right? That's
and
the takeaway.
I hope that the injury angle that they're doing with Dax Hardwood, I hope that's a work, right? I hope that's somehow involved with the whole, right?
It has to be. The way everybody made sure that they left Kenny by himself in the ring to go get Dax, I mean, it has to be.
What'd you guys think of that, though? Like, did you like that angle? Like, I know that, obviously it seems like it's an angle, but...
No, it seemed unnecessary. I mean, the rest
unnecessary, why?
Because you are teasing the Bucks and FTR. Why do you have this injury here? You've done great booking on the other side with Dark Order and Page and Omega by Brody getting the pin here.
Yeah.
So the injury just feels excessive as a work.
Yeah, you don't need FTR as a gimmick here. You don't need them. They could stand on their own with what they've been doing.
No, but I think the whole point of it was because you had Hangman Page leave and help Dax to the back, and you see him kind of meshing with FTR. I think that's what the story is with that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with that.
Okay, but they've been drinking beer together already.
I know, so they're continuing it, is what I'm saying. Now he actually cares about him. He's investing in him and actually trying to make sure he's okay.
Evans says he thinks it's real. He says Dax posted himself in a boot on Instagram. Could be kayfabe work,
it still could be. Either way, as far as the story goes, Brian, here's my thing. That is a relevant storyline right now in AEW. Their relationship, the potential silent horsemen, however you want to angle it.
Silent.
Because it's an unsaid kind of thing we're all seeing, right? But for me, so as relevant as that is right now, this kind of a situation, this same play out could have happened in a different type of match. If you're going to put them in a 12-man tag match, which is basically AEW's way of saying, hey, let's do a brawl tonight, but let's do it in the ring. If you're going to do I'm just saying, if you're doing a 12-man tag match, there's so much commotion and so much to follow that why would you put such a big angle in the middle of it so it could get drowned out and everything? Like me, I didn't really notice it until you bring it up now and I go, oh yeah, that did happen, because there was so much going on. I just, why muddy the waters there with such a powerful storyline?
I agree with you. I do think there was a lot going on, but I think the things that they did have going on, like I would rather have them do it this way than have them spread it out throughout like 2 or 3 matches, because then everything just feels like everything is about them. With them doing it in just kind of one segment, at least they're getting a lot of stuff. Yeah, a lot of stuff is going out there to kind of digest. But I like how they did it.
I hate to agree with Adam, but Adam made a point in his opening statement about being somewhere live and watching it and it's good wrestling and it's fine, and about watching on TV and it needing to be entertaining, right? Mm-hmm. And the 12-man tag match to me, Brian, and I know you're going to go, oh, God, but this is very PWG to me. And PWG is great. I want to see the slow motion matches. I want to see the 20 versus 20 matches where they go fucking just ape shit all over the place. I want to see that.
And you can't even keep up with it.
Yeah, that's so much fun in person, and it's so much fun for that one moment. But this is, to me, I saw super kick parties. I saw spots that were weighted on, and I saw quadruple suplexes, and that is great for PWG. That's great for a house show. I love that kind of wrestling live. I do. This is unnecessary. These multi-man forever tag team matches, I don't think it helps AEW. I'm not saying it kills them. I'm not saying it hurts them. I'm not saying I'm not going to watch again. I'm saying that I think they can do better, is what I'm saying.
Let's bring this to a close real quick here. So we've got a lot of story being built in this 12-man tag match. And I feel like that every point that you guys just made is right. It didn't need to be done this way. I love that Brody's got the pin. I love that Brody saved Colt. I love that, some of the other stuff, the Hangman Omega in Dark Order. I think you could have left the Bucks and FTR out. I feel like they forced themselves into this situation here when it could have been a standalone there.
Yeah.
It's just my take. So we have to decide here, fellas.
Yeah.
Which one we like better. A lot was built out of both matches. So when you talk about consequence and stuff, Rob, there is consequence to both.
You're right. There is consequence. I'm going to go NXT, and here's why. Because AEW, as all the points are already placed about the 12-man, and I thought it was too much. They could have done better there. But also, what you just said is you have so much consequence in this 12-man that it's hard to keep up with all the consequence that was in it. So
there's probably stuff we forgot to mention.
Absolutely, absolutely. In NXT side, not only did you have I don't give a damn, a fantastic match between Dakota, which we didn't even mention, and Rhea Ripley.
We didn't talk about the match. The match itself was killer.
So not only do we have a great match, we have a really brand new story, well, a continuing story that feels brand new almost, happening with Rhea and Mercedes, which is fantastic. I'm excited about it.
The tagline, Robert Stonebrand isn't done with Rhea.
But also, the part that we didn't talk about is we have Dakota Kai, who is now going against Io Shirai. And anybody who doesn't think that's not going to be a good match is crazy. And Dakota Kai has shown herself to be a relevant contender when it comes to the mouth game. When it comes just to talking shit and building a rivalry, Dakota has shown herself capable. This is going to be a good rivalry, good title feud.
Started at War Games when she went heel.
So this is going to be good. Both outcomes of this. So for me, NXT offered more. It was clear. It was concise. It really flowed through what it needed to do for me to pay attention.
Brian, what's your vote?
I agree with you as far as on everything that you said about NXT. However, the things that you didn't like about the stuff about AEW, I actually liked it that there was a lot going on and there was a lot of different things to you had to really pick out and really be following along in the product to really know all the different relationships and dynamics between all the individuals. But for me, I'm going with AEW also just because this really shines a light on their tag division. With all the different teams that are involved and all the different kind of feuds and split offs, with the tag champs and stuff and the Bucks. So AEW all the way.
It really shines a light on their tag division.
Just let him have his Trump moment.
How really shines?
It really shined a light on your bias.
Dude, there's like 6 different tag teams in the match.
Yeah, they could have developed tag team feuds.
Going
into tag team
within one team, there's a guy that doesn't even know that he's in a tag team.
Rob, stop talking to Brian.
You guys are crazy.
You know how we have Joey and Roddy? When we agree, we need something that's the antithesis.
Yeah,
look,
nobody.
It's called the fucking
Brian
Adam.
says like the Trump.
Brian is an angry troll tonight, and
I'm an angry troll.
You are because nobody.
Think ogre.
Neither with my points, angry ogre.
I said I agreed with your NXT points, sir.
Well, I know that, but you're getting all hostile about thinking we're ripping apart AEW. Now, me and Adam,
I never said that.
Nobody said. Okay.
He said he disagreed with your take on AEW. I'm going to break the tie here because I have to. And just like my reasoning for breaking this tie, it's the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. NXT was simple. Here's a contendership. We're going to build 2 feuds at the same time, and there you go. AEW had 4 feuds, 12 guys. They're building Colt and Brody again. It was a lot to take into one. I did not dislike any of it, Brian. I just think that NXT, keeping it simple, was easier and had the same level of consequence to me.
Right. Hey, can I ask you a question? Can I actually? But this goes to both of you guys, actually.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So what about in Star Wars? Aren't there multiple kind of plot lines and stuff going on at the same time?
Wait. We've discussed that you are not allowed to ever talk about Star Wars.
Yeah,
right?
You can't.
Until you watch it, you can't say anything, all right?
Yeah.
I will watch it. It'll be a Patreon thing.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to plug Patreon yet. I want to go to the next topic. But good try at the segue there. The reason I want to go to the next topic because the next one on the AEW side kind of has 3 parts. Because of course it starts with the best friends arriving in Sue's van, and we'll see what happens to it later. But they were just contenders, and you right a second ago, this is a little bit of petty, but it's more confusion. You just have Dark Order pinning the tag champs. Now you're having a contender match where the best friends, the former contenders who lost, win. And they're very clearly not going to cash in that contendership because they're going to fight Proud and Powerful over the fact that they destroyed the minivan. I was confused a little bit here why this wasn't just a feud between them and why they made it seem like this was a contendership. You don't usually have feuds come out of contenderships unless it's like a briefcase or something, weird like that. Am I wrong to think that? Am I looking at this wrong, Brian? You're the biased one. Tell me.
Me, bro, I'm not biased. I'm a little confused about where you're coming from, though.
You were a little bit all over the place.
Okay, but first off, this was a great tag match. This was what the tag matches that Rob likes. There was a lot of, there wasn't more than the 10 seconds. This was a very solid match. I felt like, though, they're saying that best friends are going to go, now they're number 1 contenders, but they're clearly going to continue with Proud and Powerful. There's no way this ends after what happened. So I don't understand why they added the number 1 contender stipulation where you clearly have Dark Order and Kenny and Hangman program there.
People who have won SummerSlam, Royal Rumble, they would have challengers for people to try to take their spot from them.
And that's what I said, like a briefcase where you take a spot.
I think it's similar here. Not only did, he broke their heart, the best friends broke their hearts. They took their number 1 contender spot. They're mad. They lashed out and they did something.
Bus is saying not once is this a contender match.
I'm glad Bus was so good that it cut me off right in mid-sentence of my thought.
Well, because I didn't want us to keep talking about this wrong fact
I'm not. You definitely stopped me from talking about it. So I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. He just doesn't see it, Brian. He doesn't.
No, and you forgot what you're going to say now.
I did. So
yeah.
Look. Yeah, whatever. What's the next thing?
Well, wait, I don't see the fact that you can't hold a thought. That's my
I was holding a thought. I was holding a thought. You cut me off 4 words in to read Bus's fucking comment. You don't see how that's just how that's disrespectful.
Evan, right? They're all saying that I was wrong. This isn't a contenders match. Okay. So I was just trying to switch the tracks. You had me believing it was going down. I thought it was too.
Oh, so now you were saving me.
I was. Okay. I just said I was saving you. Okay. I didn't want you to go down the train that I just went down when it's apparently wrong.
All right, sorry, I lost my flip-flop. Okay.
I'm on the wrong fucking track. Everybody's telling me on the board, so I was trying to save you that embarrassment.
Oh, well, thank you.
I got yelled at for it.
No, yeah.
So he's looking out for you, Rob.
Yeah, right. No, I should. Stockholm syndrome. I should just accept it and say thank you.
Yeah. Can I just say something though? It is a fucking. It is sad that Proud and Powerful, they're not even in the rankings. They haven't even been there since fucking February.
Yeah.
They're totally out of there. That's why, you said that this wasn't, Adam, you said this wasn't a number 1 contender match?
Apparently not.
Okay, so yeah, right now, best friends, they're right behind FTR as far as rankings go.
Yeah, but this is good, though, at least now, not this contender. This is a good feud away from the belt.
And the best card destroy since the Attitude Era.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Poor Sue.
Poor Sue. Yeah, poor Sue.
Poor Sue.
Feel bad.
Poor Sue.
On the other side, I'm glad we talked about AEW first here. On the other side, Shane Thorne is fed to Bronson Reed. No disrespect either, man. Was not the same quality of match.
No.
And the give a fuck level of Best Friends and Proud and Powerful is way higher than the give a fuck of Shane Thorne.
I give it to AEW just because of the van getting destroyed.
Yeah.
That alone.
Dude, and the way Ortiz walked off when
he threw it.
Oh, and it stuck.
I was thinking that after when they were like, cut, we're done. So they were like, oh my God, it's a fucking perfect ending. That was fucking great.
I know they probably like marked out on their own spot.
That was so cool. Did you know what we're talking about, Brian, with the sledgehammer? Stuck in the window.
Sledgehammer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your vote, Brian? You on AEW?
Yeah,
AEW, bro. Come on.
Easy.
Come on. Don't even fucking. Come
on. Jay Hayes, by the way, joined us on the board.
Why does Soji always do the
Jake
fucking
Cagle.
Z's? Are you tired? Are we boring you, Soji? Are we boring you?
Proud that.
No, maybe it was delayed on the
Proud and
Bronson Reed
powerful.
Shane Thorne reaction.
No, whatever. I don't care.
Also, they're not proud and powerful anymore. We keep calling them that, but they're not that anymore.
What are they?
They're just Santana and Ortiz.
LAX 2.0.
No, they're not LAX, sir.
All
Can't
right.
say that. It's TNA.
Tied up 1-1. This is the point in the night because I'm the host of the show and I don't have something that I feel is even worth discussing on the NXT side. I am just going to hand a point to AEW, and then the three of us are going to discuss why I've handed them that point. It's
Whoa.
MJF.
Oh.
MJF getting in Lee Johnson, not using a level for a fucking poster.
Making a girl smile.
Nora, she has to smile when she tells him that. The campaign trail, Wardlow just standing there. This whole thing is great to me. And Rob, the way he gets asked about, well, what if it's not Moxley? What if it's Darby? What if Darby wins the night?
Oh, the 115-pound emo kid? Yeah, I'm really worried about that one. Yeah, that had me
He
giggling.
said it would suck to have to wrestle the 130-pound emo kid or emo boy or whatever the hell he called him.
That had me giggling. I said it before. I am full reverse course on MJF. I am the long haul with him if he can keep because this is the thing about this 2020 thing he's doing is where he was just the douchey guy that comes out and talks shit all the time. He has shown that he can switch it a little bit. He's still the douchey guy that comes out and talks shit, but now there's a further meaning behind it, which changes that character, which makes it more appealing. So if you could keep doing that, I'm in.
And he gave Nora and Lee Johnson some time here.
Poor Nora.
Yeah. I hope he doesn't
say,
start wearing like red hats. Like I hope he doesn't really like imitate it too much. You know what I mean?
No, he's the Biden version of this.
Brian, that's what's great about it is John's the one that's MAGA.
Dictator John.
Right.
Brian,
John, yeah.
I think it's this, and you would probably be the voice of reason here. I think that Rob is now back on the MJF train because he has nothing to do with Cody. And that was what soured Rob on MJF because you loved MJF. He got in a feud with Cody for a while.
Now, I'm going to push back on that. The Cody MJF feud is fine with me. I had no problem with that. I did not. My problem is what I said the whole time was I thought that where he's a douchey guy that does it on purpose, and I did enjoy that about him, and he's really a great talker, is it was the same MJF every week. This is the same, but with a little bit more of a twist. So, and especially right now, so fucking relevant right now. Fucking entertainment.
Dictator John Easter egg. Rob had to tell me that one. Brian, do you know what the Dictator John is?
I remember it from last week, but I forgot it. I remember you guys saying it. What was it?
Rob, you want to let him know?
Dictator John, because Donald J. Trump, the J stands for John.
Right.
So it's not just Moxley. He's digging at here. It's great.
He's roasting. He's doing a full roast thing. And just FYI, Anaconda Vice, he says, Rob, you love Biden. I don't love Biden. Biden is not my fifth choice, but God, anyone.
I'd vote for an animal over Trump.
I would.
President The Rock.
Now we got two things to talk about to compare here. On the NXT side, we have a very confusing segment. Phantasma kidnapped their own people to make that faction. Now they're kidnapping half of Breezango. I'm all for a feud away from titles and whatever, but this one, I don't know what the hell you're doing here.
Yeah, this is one that we're gonna have to see next week. What the setup? I mean, this was the setup, obviously.
Yeah, I'm giving it an incomplete if I were to grade it here, but I don't know how really to react to this. On the other side, we have Matt Hardy come out and kind of gave a fourth wall break promo, but also says this is who he's going to be now on camera. I'm going to be Matt Hardy, or Matthew Hardy even said. He's not going to do all these gimmicks. He's still going to do it outside of the ring, but in the ring and on TV, he made it seem like he's going to be Matt Hardy.
Did we get enough of Broken? I mean,
I think he's still going to do that stuff on
so.
Being the Elite is what he made it sound like, or in his own time, or he's still going to do it away from Dynamite. But on Dynamite, he wants to do this.
Yeah, can you guys think of a wrestler that keeps changing their gimmick and it's like accepted by the fans? Like usually you have to repackage someone, they go away for a little bit, but him, it's just like, all right, this week I'm this guy
because they're all good.
I don't have.
It's not like you go from Isaac Yankem to Kane.
Brian,
they're all good.
I'm ashamed of you, Brian. Your hero is the king of this. Mick Foley. Mick Foley came out 3 times in one night, a different character each time.
At the Rumble.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, well, that's a good
Say
point.
yes,
And I'm not disagreeing with it. I
thank
was just
you.
asking if you guys.
Like he just
how you
wanted to
felt
argue
about
that.
We should have a new game, Rob.
Again,
we just make
on the group.
Yeah, no, on the board here where we just count how many times Brian pulls a politician thing. Brian, I full kayfabe. I think you missed a real career as a politician.
Yeah.
I think you did.
How did I miss it? It's never too late, man. If fucking Sean Spicer can get up there, I can fucking do it.
No, there's a hip clause.
If I ever get elected president, Brian, you're gonna be my press secretary.
Okay.
Maybe Adam. I would pick Adam because he'd cut off all the reporters in mid-sentence.
Yeah, mid-sentence.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy, the spot at the end with the table, first off, I think he got led the hard way. I think that chair that he sort of blocked got him.
Yeah.
But Sammy Guevara, that spot at the end with the table.
No, that was insane.
It was like parkour. Parkour.
Yeah, it was parkour on Matt Hardy. I was worried about a concussion. Still am, actually, on Matt Hardy. I mean, you don't bleed like that from a blunt object to the head without having some additional damage.
Yeah, it's got to shake you up a little bit.
Yeah.
And Stike on the board, I agree with this. I kind of thought it when we were watching it. He says, I think Matt's saving the broken for when Jeff can come back. So maybe, they'll do Brother Nero and all that once Jeff's able to come there. For now, he wants to do this.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. And then Anaconda Vice says, first time I saw Rob, I thought he was a cop. I just wanted to read
what does that even mean?
But also, guys, Matt Hardy hasn't done shit since Sammy got suspended. It was very clear that those two were programmed and that they didn't know what to do with Matt after that.
Yeah.
Now they're picking up where they left off. I'm okay with it. I think it's good, and it's right what Matt was saying. He wants to work with younger guys. He was praising Private Party, but he's really going to put over Sammy if he loses. And I got no problem with it.
I got no argument.
I don't give a fuck about Matt Hardy's win-loss record.
So yeah,
He's entertaining.
Yeah, point AEW.
Yeah.
Bang bang.
All right.
Bang bang.
AEW up 3-1.
Ooh.
Yeah. Starting to
Nice.
run away with it.
Yeah. One's
honorary. All right. We've got a triple threat. Priest, Brian's Oni Lorcan, and Ridge Holland. And a triple threat for the North American at TakeOver 30. On the other side, we have Cody with, what's his nuts? Matt Cardona. And I'm trying to get all their new fucking names right.
Yeah, it's tough.
Against two other dipshits from the Dark Order.
Alex Reynolds and John Silver.
Yep.
Watch your mouth.
Yeah. They
former NYWC standouts.
Okay. Two masked guys that don't talk unless Brody talks for them. Cool. I want to start on the AEW side for a second here. Because Rob and I watching this, Brian, I think both had some mixed feelings here. I fucking kept waiting we know Cody and Cardona were going to win. I wanted Cardona to potentially turn on him and do something. I don't want a hug. I didn't want whatever. I wanted something to come out of this. What did come out of this is not what we thought we wanted or thought we deserved with the Matt Cardona, but we got Scorpio Sky. We've asked for somebody on the roster, somebody legit, somebody we believe could win it. Rob, I think Scorpio is answering that claim.
I was with you at first, and then I thought about it more, and I thought maybe we're gonna get our cake and eat it too here. So Scorpio Sky is the first contender for the TNT title in most of its life, but in a while.
To me, since Jungle Boy.
Yeah, to be a legit
Hager.
contender that we could see winning this title.
Or Warhorse.
However, I think this might be the better opportunity for Cardona to do the turn on Cody against. If he was to turn on him in a match that we knew Cody was going to win, fucking cares, right? It's a great turn, but it doesn't.
Are you saying Cardona turns on Cody to cost him the title?
No.
To Scorpio? What do you?
Maybe not turns, but maybe cost him the title.
Maybe after. It could be after Scorpio wins, he turns on him, like my turn. Or maybe he does screw him over. I don't know how much sense that makes, but that would be fine. I wouldn't be upset about that.
There's been no real hooker crooks yet in AEW.
I just think if you want to create true tension between Cody and Cardona, as you're saying you do want to do, then there needs to be something emotional behind it. The TNT Championship right now is all Cody. That's the emotional connection.
And Scorpio, when he fought Jericho in singles, he stepped in for Daniels, who got hurt. I don't know if that was kayfabe or not when they took the titles. But Scorpio Sky, I think his ceiling is very, very high. The board's talking about the killer promo he did on Dark last night.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna mention. Yeah, he had a match on Dark against Will Hobbs, and he cut a promo afterwards, and it's fucking worth checking out.
Calvin
That's
and
kind of
Hobbs.
that's kind of where also the TNT title challenge also fits in as well.
Okay. No, I'm saying if Scorpio wins it, I'm fine with it, and then Cardona turns. If Scorpio loses because of something with Cardona, I don't know. I'm throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks.
Okay, here's something for you, Rob.
Yeah.
Evan says TNT title feels important right now. Feels more important than a majority of the titles in wrestling right now. No, it's had one guy who's the owner of the company who's booked himself to be a monster. Look at him tonight, just for no reason, holding Stu Grayson up forever, or not Stu Grayson, Silver.
You're a medium-sized guy that's holding up a little guy in a suplex for a while. Cody's so full of himself sometimes, man.
Yeah. I mean,
oh my God, that's petty. Are you guys giving the early petty awards?
That is very petty, and I think it's 100% accurate. I'm sorry. Most of the VPs have championships right now, and if Brandy books herself to win that tag tournament, I mean, we get character work that's unique and what we want, and they're listening to the fans that way, but they're also booking themselves over a lot.
Yeah, I can't disagree with that statement about it being the most important title more. I mean, there's been no contenders. I mean, none at all.
Yeah. I mean, the strength of the AEW roster is strong. The strength of the AEW program is strong. Of their titles, not quite there yet. You just haven't had enough people hold them to say that these titles are one way or the other. You've had one champ for the TNT title. What are we on? Champ number 2 or 3 for the tag titles?
I'm not sure. Whatever. Yeah.
And champ 3 for the women's, and champ 2 for the men. I mean, so it's tough to say that we've had anything other than just some great stories and some great matches. Like, I don't outside of AEW.
And I don't think, Adam, it's
not fair.
It's not the number of times the title has changed to make it consequential. It's the trials that the champions have gone through with those belts. Cody just hasn't gone through those trials.
No,
he just hasn't.
Give it time.
Mox's resume, though. Mox's resume, he has.
Yeah.
I mean, Cage, Brody. I mean, he survived them all, and he beat all the Inner Circle on his way to beating Jericho. I mean, he's done it.
I agree it could be the most consequential title in wrestling. I agree that it could be, but it needs to go to a contender or to a champion that is. It's not Cody. I'm sorry, it's not Cody. That doesn't have such a regalness about them that they're just almost predetermined in most of their matches.
What about a guy like Pac? I think he would be perfect if he ever comes, when he comes back.
Perfect.
Yeah, we're missing him. We're definitely missing him.
Yeah.
Evan says, with that title, Evan, I'm not disagreeing with your statement. I'm saying the jury is way, way, way still out.
I'm disagreeing. 100%.
It's too early to say that that's better than some of these other established titles out there in the industry.
The WCW, I know we always compare, but WCW TV title to me was one of the most consequential belts of its time, and that's because the U.S. title was predominantly held by Barry Windham and Lex Luger during that time period, and the world title was Flair, and then in a couple other exceptions, Sting and not necessarily Sting at that point, but Steamboat, very rare exceptions. The one that was really making people, the one that people were really looking forward to, was the TV title with Arn Anderson, Sting, and Great Muta, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So the TNT title has a ceiling. That's my point, Adam. I'm not arguing that. I'm saying that the TNT title has a ceiling that is undeniable, but it needs to get away from Cody.
Evan says he thinks his comment was misunderstood. He's talking about it looks better.
Evan never knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
It doesn't look better. It looks incomplete. I'm not hating. I'm just being honest.
All right. Let's go on. So we've now got the other side to discuss. The NXT side is a triple threat between Priest, Ridge Holland, never seen him wrestle, full acknowledgement, and Oney Lorcan, who me and Rob have determined only Brian is a fan of in the entire world. And that includes Oney's family.
Throw him up. He's great, man. He goes a million miles a fucking minute, man.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. His gimmick should be Son of Lamp Storm, because that would give him some personality.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion.
This match is what it was. I mean, it determined another member of the North American title. It's fine.
It was Damian Priest.
Yeah.
He's finally getting there.
What if Roman and Baron Corbin had a child? Damian Priest. So, hey, enjoy it.
I thought that was too mean.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it? I mean, you guys definitely keep up a lot more on NXT than I do. Is this weird that this Ridge Holland guy just kind of seemingly is out of nowhere? Right?
I thought he was from NXT UK or something.
No, I don't know where he's from, to be completely honest. I mean, horrible podcaster. Bad Rob. But
I know.
But, I mean, if you're going to highlight somebody, this isn't a bad spot to highlight them. You got 3 people in the ring. Others are capable of winning this. You're not expected to win. So as long as you put out a good performance, you're going to get a kind of a push here just by being in that situation. And now they can use them for more relevant situations. They don't have to build them like they did Bronson Reed, going through preliminary matches and losing and all this stuff. He gets a kind of an automatic push to relevant storylines. So I don't think it's weird. I think it's actually kind of brilliant.
Evan says Priest is better than Corbin in every single way. Okay.
I don't know. Nobody's arguing that.
Is 100 times better.
I'm just talking more or less like the look of him.
Okay.
I mean, the skills, I'm not, the karate guy. What do you call him? The karate.
Yeah. Just like you were talking about the looks of the belt, Evan, he's talking about the looks of the guy, not the skill.
The looks.
This had some consequence. I think, again, if it was not Oni Lorcan, if it was not a guy we've never heard of, we might have had a bigger connection to this match than what we got. On the other side, the Cody, the Matt Cardona, the Scorpio Sky, AEW wins this one. And no disrespect to Damian Priest, good for you. You deserve your spot. I'm gonna give my point to NXT on this. Really?
I mean, it was a good match. First, I mean, it wasn't a bad match. Second, the relevancy is right in your face. I mean, everybody knows the consequence of this match. It was promoted and it happened, right? And the other side, Scorpio Sky was great. I don't argue with that. I like the idea of it too, and it opens up so many doors moving forward to next week. But it was one very small moment in the entire segment, and the rest of it was this tag team match that we could all kind of agree was like, it could have happened. It didn't have to.
Yeah. Well, okay, if you want to go on that point, it didn't have to happen. But the other one also didn't have to happen. They could have just been like Damian Priest during the match.
No, it had to happen. It was part of the story. It had to happen.
No, Oni Lorcan did not need to be there.
Okay, all right, move on.
Oh my God. Wait, can I vote?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Brian has to break the tie. By the way.
Oh yeah,
I know
that
he's
guy.
going.
Brian has to break the tie.
AEW, man.
There you
AEW,
go.
only because Silver and Reynolds are goddamn gold on BTE. I know you guys don't really follow it all, week to week, but their segments with Mr. Brody Lee are definitely worth watching.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all I had to say. I don't know. You want me to fucking do a dance? What?
No, Adam was typing, so he didn't immediately jump in. Yeah.
I was
he
letting
wrote Punishment
Brian.
Martinez.
Yeah.
That's why you left the dead air to type Punishment Martinez.
Don't want to sound like a dick or nothing, but it says on your chart that you're fucked up. You talk like a fag, and your shit's all retarded.
Okay, everybody check the tape. I let Brian talk. We get dead air. I get blamed. I let Rob talk and interrupt for a second or interject in any way. I get blamed. I can't win. Next
I gotta
up,
defend myself every time.
every fucking time.
Every time.
I got a microphone, so I'm gonna. Anyway, next up we got Grimes and Lee. Okay, this is another feeding on NXT. Cameron Grimes, we're gonna feed you to Keith Lee. Here you go. Yeah, well fed. Nothing, no disrespect to either man here. No fucking way was Cameron Grimes winning.
No.
Sorry.
Nope.
And no way was I giving a fuck. Okay. And I love Keith Lee, but I just wanted the end with Karrion Kross. And that's what we saw. I was more intrigued by the fact that Brian, when they zoomed away from his eyes, it looked like he had fucking killed everybody backstage. It felt like the Banana Splits movie.
Oh, God, it's so good.
I never saw that.
Okay, and obviously you didn't see this segment.
What? Yeah, I did. What are you talking about? NXT? Sure.
What'd you think
Keith
of the
Lee?
cross part?
Keith Lee?
No,
The
I don't want to talk about the Keith Lee Cameron Grimes. What do you think about the end? The Karrion Kross, who's, by the way, getting your other boy, Danny Burch, fed to him next week.
I mean, I like that they're pushing Karrion Kross. I still am kind of on the fence as to. I mean, they're really pushing him strong. I mean, he squashed out fucking Ciampa. That's kind of my like.
We haven't
the
seen
bar right
Ciampa
there.
since.
I know. So that's what I'm saying. Like they're real, and like now we're hearing all these rumors about them pushing him with a feud on the main roster with fucking. It's insane. I mean, I don't know where I'm going with this. What was your original question, Adam?
You know what's
I got
insane?
lost in my own thought because I was thinking about carrying cross. What?
You know what's insane, Brian?
What?
That you can get 15% off of your order.
What?
With a promo code marked out 15 by going here.
You can now pre-order Claudio's Cafe Espresso Roast. It's a washed Guatemalan roast with hints of milk chocolate, lavender, and brown sugars. It's absolutely delicious. We're going to start shipping, and a huge shout out to my friends at Legal Speed Coffee Roasters who made this possible. Espresso time.
Once again, Legal Speed Coffee, 15% off with the code marked out 15. That is legalspeed.com/Claudia's Cafe. No, that's what espresso.
Legalspeed.coffee.
Legalspeed.coffee/Claudia's Cafe. Excuse me there. So thank you to them for having marked out as part of their family. Speaking of family, Adam, you are not, but you can continue with the show.
All right. Yeah. The executive producer, sorry, Rob, he didn't tell me when that commercial ended, so I didn't know when to come back.
I didn't think you were ever going to get to it. It's all right. Go ahead.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to go on to the AEW offering to counter Keith Lee and Cameron Grimes starting off the second hour, and that was Jericho and OC in a debate with Eric Bischoff.
Oh, I love it.
Not a fucking lick of wrestling here until the end when, we had a winner of the debate. And I was entertained for every freaking second. Every part of it. Even the first two questions where Orange Cassidy didn't even say a word.
You're an idiot, Orange Cassidy. You're stupid.
And then, him having the old school debate moment about global warming. And then him saying, yeah, good job, Jericho. You picked the debate with a guy who doesn't talk. That whole segment at the end.
Opening this up, guys, my first excitement level in this segment, which there was a lot of them, I really enjoyed this, to echo what you said. But my first moment of marked outicism is not just that Bischoff came out, because I didn't see the leak, right? But it's the fact that as a mark, knowing that Bischoff and Jericho have the history that they have, made it, even though nothing really came of it until the end.
They still addressed it.
But it gave me a moment of like, oh, shit, Bischoff and Jericho, 20-some-odd years later.
24.
Yes, I know. I'm doing my mind at the time, Adam. Jesus Christ.
And I was doing Bischoff, correcting.
Yeah, okay, thank you. But yeah, no, so the whole segment, the back and forth was great. Orange Cassidy breaking his kayfabe and going in was great. Him pulling the old school moment where Will Ferrell goes on into the question and passed out at the end. I wish he would have passed out when he was done with that, though. But yeah,
right. But what he said is absolutely true.
Global warming,
when you're number one in the country, and I think it was years ago when Michigan was top 5 in the country and lost to Appalachian State,
Michigas,
who's a 1A school,
right? And
it was a big deal. That's what this would be. Orange Cassidy's like, you're gonna lose to a guy who keeps his hands in his pocket. That's a big deal. Orange Cassidy has nothing to lose here. This is a trap for Jericho.
Uncle Eric looked fucking sharp. Hair looked good.
He looked good.
Glasses look good. That
Silver
nice
Fox.
Suit.
We should call him and tell him.
Yeah,
it's that.
We
blue,
should.
It's
we
that
should.
blue chew. It's that blue chew he's been promoting.
No, it is.
Yeah, he had to sit at the table so nobody could see his tent. Nothing. All right.
His tent.
There was a lot of gems that came out of this. But overall, I think Orange Cassidy, less is more, is what won him. He didn't need to say anything except for that final one, just to put Jericho in his place.
I would normally look at we're going to have a debate next week on our program. Look at that and go, oh, fuck. Come on.
That's
seriously.
the WWE talking.
And it is. Right. It's the battered wife that I am with WWE. And even with this, I was skeptical because of that, probably. But look, the way they played this, I didn't care anything about wrestling at that moment. And I think somebody like Jericho makes this where I don't even care about wrestling at that moment. I'm just enjoying the pure content of the moment. For me, it was well thought out and great back and forth. And Jericho was magical, as he always is. And
highly entertaining.
And Brian, I think you'll agree with this, that Jericho always makes the person he's working with that much better. We liked Orange Cassidy. We liked KO. We liked all the people he'd been with in the past, professionally. But we always liked him a little bit more after he was done with them. What do you think, Brian?
I'm totally with you. I mean, Orange Cassidy, because of this feud, is definitely going to be. I mean, he's already been kind of christened the breakout star of AEW right now, and now he's going into a feud with Chris Jericho. I mean, he's right in the middle of one with Chris Jericho. So yeah, I totally agree with that. He's fucking being made by him.
And his sell of being knocked out after the Judas effect at the very end,
right?
Eyes open, unblinking, I'm out cold was great.
Yeah.
And of course, thank God that the best friends, hadn't left yet because the car was messed up. So they were still there to make the save.
What's on the other side?
On the other side, we just talked about it, Rob, was Keith Lee and Grimes.
Oh,
so,
that was in the... Oh,
yeah, that was... Yeah,
okay, AEW.
So I'm about to give a 5th point to AEW, I think.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Very
Brian,
obvious.
you going
Speaking
AEW?
Yeah, AEW, man. And you know what? I'm even going to say it right now. They're definitely going to win, probably because of Bischoff even. They're going to win the ratings this week by far.
I was thinking about that, Brian. Here's the thing. I think it was a huge mistake, Jericho not saying who was going to moderate. And I think that they realized that and somebody leaked it on purpose because
potentially
that will get you the ratings. Having Eric Bischoff return to TNT 20 years later is a big deal.
Yeah.
And you would want people to know. And they're going to win the ratings. You're absolutely right. I agree with your statement because of that.
Yeah.
They might not have had it not leaked, though.
Do we think or do we hope that this is a Bischoff one-off? Like, we saw Bischoff is great. Or is there a chance, since he's a free agent now, WWE kicked him to the fucking curb before he even got his fucking lease signed, do we think that Bischoff might be like, hey, what do you want me to do to help?
I would love to see him in a Regal role. Go up once a month, make a decision when you need to, when there's, two.
So a management type role.
Not coming out every week.
Right, okay.
Right.
Not a general manager, not an authority.
So break the fourth wall down. I mean, do you think they would benefit from using Bischoff somehow with the creative process as well?
Yes. 100%. Like you said, if he's just almost like a consultant kind of, and you know what? I'll even go as far as, like you said, if he's like an on-air character, but just kind of more down the middle, not like a fucking,
not being the heel that he was. I'm going to go against this wrestler.
I asked that question because I think sometimes people say things deliberately that you might not consider to be deliberately. And maybe I'm overthinking it. But JR very clearly said 83 weeks. And I know that's the name of the podcast. But it's also a statement. And if JR is saying it, I think it's a more deliberate process that he means. Because JR knows the business. He knows how to subliminally put shit out there. 83 weeks.
Well, not just that. The subliminally, you want to talk about if he were to be in power, he could go after the inner circle because I know how you feel about me. I know exactly how you feel about me, Chris. That was a line that wasn't just planted there by Eric. That was a line that was planted there by probably creative.
Yeah, we need somebody to separate Cody from ownership or management. And I don't hate Bischoff as that role.
They need that, right? Yeah. They don't have any of that right now.
Yeah.
And actually on the Facebook group, Dave Stevens agrees too. He says 100% yes for Bischoff as creative.
Yeah. Bischoff or Heyman. I'll take either one.
In front of the fourth wall, behind it. Either one. I'm good with Bischoff. Absolutely.
Yes.
Never had a problem.
We got women against women here. Tegan is going to take on Indy Hartwell. Tegan wins. It's a fine match. It's just another way to get Indy Hartwell on TV, so we start to get exposed to her. Nothing wrong with that. But on the other side, we have the story that we've been telling with Big Swole and Britt coming to a head because Reba is going to be the one that Big Swole faces.
Poor Reba.
Okay.
Poor Reba.
I don't get this. Why would Britt not pick somebody that Big Swole might lose to? Because we know Reba wasn't going to win.
I was thinking that too, Brian. I mean,
or Rebel, whatever her real. I'm not even sure which one's right.
Where it's entertaining, and that keeps going in the entertaining theme, Brian.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with Brian. Wouldn't you want somebody here that's going to be more of a you got to get through them?
Yeah, I do agree with that. Although that is kind of, at least I don't know if I have to check the tape. Last week, I kind of do remember one of us saying that it's probably going to be Reba. I mean, who else could it be that Britt is just going to throw this, this off onto?
Nobody argued that. Yeah.
Right. But it was kind of weird, though. I will say that Taz, during commentary, he was talking about Reba having a bunch of matches, like, and having experience. Meanwhile, she's in the ring, and clearly she's doing the things like she doesn't look like she has any experience. So it was a little kind of weird as far as the story goes with that. But I mean, I had no problem with it because that's Britt's personality. Yeah. She's fucking lazy. She doesn't have many friends, it seems like, either. Right? Like she has Reba, and that's it.
And she's dating an elf.
Wait. Don't blow your wad. We're almost there.
Don't fucking say that, Pat.
So I'm just going to quickly give you my vote here. Big Swole, Britt, we're finally getting somewhere. We're finally got that match booked. So consequence, yeah, I'm going to go with AEW. Rob?
What was the comparable NXT side?
All right.
Which probably gives you my vote right there.
Yeah, Brian, do you want to vote? Because Rob just gave his. By
I'm
not even knowing what was on the NXT side.
AEW, Britt was wearing a fucking Michael Jordan jersey.
Yeah, okay, so. that was great too. She's better than Michael Jordan.
She's Michael Jordan.
I love her and Schiavone.
Main event time. Real quickly, I want to catch up a couple comments on the board. Bus made me laugh. He says they're going to make Eric a young buck as a GM and have him show up in every single segment that doesn't involve him. I thought that was funny. Estrada says maybe it was solely to make Swole look strong with a question mark and also cause a rift between her and Baker. No.
You don't need to make Swole look strong.
And there's already a rift there. Yeah. So
Swole's already a badass.
Yeah, you could have brought Diamante or somebody like that out, Stike says. I agree. And Bus also says he was just distracted because it looked like Rebel ate some cake. So, whatever.
Oh, Hartwell, that's right. Yeah, AEW.
All right. So, main event time. We got Darby versus Mox, and we have a thrown together rematch of Undisputed Era against Imperium. Brian, where do you want to start?
Let's go on the NXT side. Why not?
All right. So NXT, both these matches had some fuckery throughout. I do have some petty stuff about AEW, but I do also have a lot of petty here about NXT. Why do you have Rob Gronkowski, Mojo Rawley, Pat McAfee, interchange any one of these fucks, going against a talent like Adam Cole that I give a fuck about, and having him look strong against him is very bad. And before I go to anything further, the worst part about it is they stole our gimmick. When they wanted to pick on Cole. That's our thing. I know you guys listen.
We stole it, too.
I know we give you great ideas. Yeah, but we stole it from Elf. They stole it from us.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
Different.
Yeah.
What do you, I mean, the distraction causes Undisputed Era to lose. We've seen them against Imperium. It's a good match. This is obviously setting up something different, but is this what Adam Cole is now booked in? Is Pat McAfee?
Yeah, I mean, the way you say it makes it sound worse than I was thinking, but look,
you heard me rant on Monday about KO deserves better.
So, yeah, you're right. But on the same note, Adam Cole's been on top of the pyramid for over a year.
So fight somebody that's a wrestler. That's all I'm saying. He's fighting a dude that has a podcast that was clearly a work for calling him small and all that.
Yeah.
It got views though, right? I mean, it worked out. Hey, I'll be honest.
I'd rather see Stephen Amell fight Stardust again.
I'm not going to go that far. That's pushing it a little bit.
I like Arrow.
I don't hate the presentation that they're doing with this. I mean, if you're going to find a kind of a side storyline, I don't hate it when it comes to the McAfee. The match itself with Imperium, I like this because it gives a little fuel to the fire of Undisputed having a split. Now,
or
I'm not
bottoming out.
Well, yeah, and I don't hate Undisputed. I mean, I don't want them to break up, but it is inevitable that one day they probably will. And if this is fuel to the fire, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. And it moves them definitively out of the tag team title picture, which maybe they should be out of it for a little bit more, I should say.
Yeah, more distance. They were doing this. I like the way it ended up. They were doing this. We need some more gold. Let's go grab what we can.
Yeah, and Hunter getting all physical and McAfee. I like that at the end.
And we saw Shawn Michaels. He made a cameo also.
Time to play the game.
By the way, Shawn Michaels, probably sound clip of the year as they're going off air. He's like, "Did anybody get a doctor?
Hunter, is there a doctor coming, Hunter? Is there a doctor coming?"
Yeah,
doesn't this kind of dilute NXT though? Because they never do anything like this. This is something that they would do, like you said, with Rob Gronkowski and fucking
Underground dilutes Raw. I think this is just a bad booking.
We did hear that Vince was getting new writers for NXT, so.
Oh no!
Welcome.
So Pat McAfee's a new writer who wrote himself into a gimmick.
That's not what I was saying. I was just saying that this looks like some shitty Vince writing to put him in there. So,
I mean, Gronk.
You think could this be like a turning point for NXT? I mean, this is pretty
a good turning point.
Monumental in any sense, but definitely not like them to do something like this.
We don't have Ciampa. We have Pat McAfee.
Yeah,
it's a turning point.
Look, I understand that they lost Dream, and that probably derailed a lot of their plans moving forward.
True.
And a lot of their star power.
Well, they now lost Loomis.
And I think the women's division on NXT, no pun intended, is tits. I mean, it's fucking shit hot right now.
And they do a really good job of storylines.
And Keith Lee is nothing to be ashamed of, but I do feel like the overall theme of NXT is kind of starting to slow. Kind of like that engine that is going to die soon, and every week it kind of still gets you there. But
because there's no graduation.
But you're not sure about the next ride.
Yeah, because now there's no graduation. Back in the day, there was a graduation.
Maybe. I don't know, maybe. So.
Anyway, on the other side, we got Darby and Mox. This is to me, in the beginning, Brian, this is a great match. This is what we thought it would be. Then Mox gets some fuckery done to him by MJF while Wardlow's talking to the ref, and Mox kicks out. No problem, because we booked this guy to look strong as fuck against everybody.
Yeah. What?
So I don't know if the intended consequence was there on the MJF thing. I'd rather it was a non-title match and Darby got a win, because Darby, could use a singles one.
No, but
I know he's won 6 out of 8 or whatever JR said, but still.
But Brian, I think you'd agree with me that I like this in the aspect of the character that MJF is playing, sleazy politician, right, is that he would rather go against the person he thinks he's going to beat easier.
Sure.
Right? And so his intention there was to get that belt off of Moxley so he'd have an easier time winning the election, if you will, quotes. So in him getting pissed at the end, I think was a good cherry on top of that segment. I don't see the complaint here. I don't have a problem with this. To me, it works out fine.
I totally agree with you too. And plus the fact that this also kind of painted like Moxley. Obviously, neither guy was really the heel, right? I mean, Moxley was kind of working heel in a sense, but he was still towards the end. He was making, he wanted Darby to stay down. He kept telling him to stay down, and Darby wouldn't. So that makes
he hugged
Darby
him
look
like
strong.
Michaels hugged Rick after he beat him and made
right.
it.
Yeah. So there was a little bit of sympathy right there for at least for Darby, and it also made you it didn't paint Moxley as this bad guy.
Hey, Adam, for the benefit of our viewers, can you take a sip of your cup again?
Why? What did you do?
Just do it again, please. Just do it again. Go ahead. There you go. Because he's got a green cup, and there's a green screen behind him, so every time he pulls the cup up, it's like he's sipping from air. It's just, I don't know. I enjoyed it. So stop shaking the fucking table, Adam.
That was Brian.
Adam.
That was Brian.
Oh, God.
Not even.
There. Brian's the table shaker. So
are you guys socially distanced? By the way,
we are.
Fucks?
We are. We have been all night.
Yep.
In an open air.
All right, come on. Let's get to it. We're fucking running late.
All right. So we got to
been dragging your ass tonight. Come on.
Oh no, you guys took those first 2 segments and ran them forever. All right, vote, Brian. Go vote.
AE Dub.
All right, Mox and Darby's good enough for you.
I got to go AEW.
I got to go AEW only because fucking Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
I mean, that I don't have to say more. NXT's offering was weak because you set that up.
The more you
what the fuck?
The more you've talked about it, the more I've started to dislike it. I didn't hate it at first, and now I'm like, oh yeah, now I don't like it.
Yeah, sorry. Anyway, so we've got AEW in a landslide here tonight. It wasn't even fucking close. 7-1. The only one we gave NXT was the curtain with Rhea and Dakota. Probably the only one that deserved it.
Yeah.
So now it's time to do the marked out moments and the petty towns for both show. But before we do, we got to crown a winner. I think we already did. right? We don't need to discuss this further.
I don't
7
even
to
think,
1.
No, I don't even think so.
Yeah, AEW wins this. You know who else wins? Everyone out there in listener land, if they go to markedoutgear.com and use the promo code marked out, all one word, you're going to get 10% off. But you know what? No, we're crazy. We're crazy. You can put in the promo code SMOKE.
We want the smoke.
20% off. 20% off your order. Markedoutgear.com. That's our stuff, man. That's our brand. Help the podcast out. Get yourself a coffee mug. Get yourself a t-shirt. Get yourself a hoodie. Get yourself a baby onesie. We've sold them. We're crazy.
There's fanny packs.
Fanny packs.
You can get a mouse pad of me.
A mouse pad of Adam. Markedoutgear.com.
Sitting on a stool.
I thought I was sitting
or
on
something.
Yeah, I don't
or
know.
it's like a footrest.
Exercise
or something.
ball. I don't know.
Yeah.
Looks like you're squatting.
You don't exercise.
Exactly. Whatever. I'm killing it. Marked out moments for both shows. I'm going to kick it off for both shows. NXT, you know what I kind of marked out? This is going to sound stupid, but Adam Cole and HBK standing next to each other. I totally marked out side by side. I was like,
are the Munchkin Kids, the Munchkin Kids.
no, I felt it was like a
It's
weird
small
Benjamin
world
Button, and
after all.
I don't know.
It's a small world after all.
Or
It's a
big
small,
moment.
Small
Whatever.
world.
All right. And then on the other side, my marked out moment was when Jericho and Bischoff got into a little bit of a verbal spat when he goes, no, I know exactly how you feel about me, Chris. In the 24 years, I hope that's planting or sowing some seeds to something future. Rob, marked outs.
My marked out moments for very simple. One word answers here. NXT, Mercedes. The new feud of Rhea. I love it. Every fucking second of it. Marked out for AEW. One word. Bischoff. Easy enough. Brian.
I agree with Rob on the Bischoff side of things with AEW. I definitely marked out with seeing him on TNT. Fuck yeah. And on the NXT side, similar to you, Adam, although it's got to be with Triple H. Seeing Triple H show up there and be all disheveled and trying to make sure everything's okay. I marked out a little bit. Although he wasn't wearing a mask, I was a little disappointed.
I didn't mean to hit that twice. I suck.
That's all right, man.
Yeah.
Eat dinner.
All right. Rob, let's get the board first. Marked outs from the board.
Yeah. The one, two.
Bus says I was sold until I heard about an Adam mouse pad. Thanks, Bus. I feel the same about you.
Yeah, we didn't like that either.
AEW marked out for Evan. Dark Order booking. Love the stories being told. Think they got a shitload of potential. Yep, they got a shitload of people. Stike marked out NXT Mercedes and Rhea feud, and for the whole Jericho Cassidy Bischoff debate.
Yep.
Bus marked out Matt Cardona's theme song. Downstairs. I don't.
Downstate.
Just the bad boy Joey Janela, and I couldn't agree more.
Marked out Bischoff and Jericho taunt. An extra marked out about how Darby had Mox's mask when he walked out. That was pretty cool. Okay. And then cross booking, he's got my interest 100% is Evans. Petty Town, Rob.
My Petty Town for NXT is going to be the McAfee thing. I mean, if you want to get a podcaster in here to start shit with Adam Cole, should be me. I mean, I'm the one that called him tiny for a fucking year.
This is Roderick Strong. I approve this method.
AEW,
Even Roddy approves that one.
Yeah. AEW 12-man tag matches. I'm sorry. It's just at a point you got to go. You're going too far. You're going too far with it.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day.
Brian?
Yeah, mine are pretty easy. Petty for AEW. There was no Butcher and Blade sighting. You know, I'm a mark for them. So
he was drunk.
Yeah, he probably couldn't get an Uber.
Passed out.
Oh my god. And on the NXT side, oh my god, how can you not say Pat McAfee fucking taking over the show? I mean, come on, guys.
Horrible.
Yeah.
And he was on commentary. And what the fuck was going on with that? They had Pat McAfee, Phillips, Morrow, and Beth all on commentary, but at two separate desks. I was so confused by the whole thing.
I was confused by it.
Yeah, it didn't work. It did not work. My Petty Town, Rob, absolute fail that you didn't bring this up. My Petty Town for NXT is you fucking thieves.
Yep.
Not like this.
What?
Not like this.
I didn't know what that was. And
what
then,
was that?
My Petty Town.
Matrix, bro.
This is a big one, Brian. I would love for you to defend it the way you do, like a politician here. My Petty Town for AEW is a weak after a huge marked out moment with FTR telling us that all of their matches are going to have real tag rules. We very clearly did not enforce the 10 counts here. Nobody was holding a rope because there's 12 people. So I get that it would be suspended for 12. That's why this is Pettytown. But it's a week after you told us this.
Well, Tag Team Appreciation Night is actually next week.
Yeah,
so it starts next week.
And he's hurt in a boot, which is probably a work. He's probably going to reveal that he's not hurt. Turn on the Bucks.
A boot.
Das Boot.
Das Boot. That's all I got. Let's go to the board for Pettytown's. That Pat guy for Soji. Cross booking. Oh, no, that's the marked out. Pettytown for Bus. Not a fan of NXT's camera crew. Don't like the effects they use to make HBK and Cole small. We all know Cole is 6 foot and HBK is 6'5".
True.
Pettytown Women's Division for AEW. Their time as a whole on Dynamite, 4 minutes on the flagship show, isn't acceptable to me. While the women's tag tournament needs more. It's the title program. I mean, I am shocked that they're not, Brian. That's a good Petty, that they're not doing more with the tag teams, the women tag team tournament on Dynamite. It's completely off of it, other than mentions. And then Pettytown for NXT for Evan. He says, feeling they're treading main roster waters with a lot of their stuff lately. Rob said it, and he might be right about the new creative. And then Pettytown for Soji. Don't hate me, guys, but don't have Mox bleed over someone when he's living with someone that had corona.
Thank you. Well,
I agree. That's a good point.
Yes, I would just say don't do that in general. Since the inception of AIDS, but corona's bad. Yeah, that's bad.
And Darby had a bloody mouth too, so both guys were bleeding.
Yeah, a lot of blood tonight.
And so was Matt.
What?
So was Matthew Hardy.
Well, yeah. Oh, he was bleeding buckets.
If you're bleeding and you need a way to stop the bleeding, I think the best thing to do is to go to collarandelbowbrand.com and get yourself a shirt.
Give us money. That'll help.
Yes, and it'll stop the bleeding, the hemorrhaging, and you get that shirt. You can get that shirt at discounts. You're like, I don't want to ruin a shirt I paid so much money for. Well, you don't have to, because you can put in the promo code marked out one word, and you get 10% off your order at collarandelbowbrand.com. Stop the bleeding.
All right. One final plug before we go on, but we're going to close it down here. Guys, we'll be back on Monday with possible wrestling discussion. If the show is shit, we might discuss something else.
I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
The New York State Attorney General is going to make a huge announcement, so maybe we'll just talk about that.
Yeah.
What is he going to say?
It's a she, and I think she's going to say that she's going to charge Trump.
Oh, I feel bad that I said he. I shouldn't have assumed
her gender. Anyway, so we'll do that. Brian's going to release the All Elite Hour at some point between now and then. Check that out on all your podcast platforms and all that. But guys, this is a labor of love. We are all hurting right now financially. But if you have some extra cash to spare and want to be one of our Patreons, go to patreon.com/MOWP. We got 3 tiers, 5, 10, and 20. The $5 tier will get you all of our pay-per-view reaction shows. The $10 tier gets you all of the other content we've got with the mark-alongs and stuff. And our $20 VIP one will get you your choice of a t-shirt from markedoutgear.com sent to you courtesy of the Marked Out crew. Go out there and support us. Anything can help. You can also tip us on the Cash App, anything like that. This is, like we said, a labor of love, but we do have expenses to cover, so we appreciate any of our fans doing that. And also, we have a contest going on right now to give our fans something. We're going to give away some of that Legal Speed coffee. All you got to do is write a review of any of our episodes and take a screenshot of that and email it to Marked Out Wrestling Podcast.
You're overcomplicated. And I appreciate you doing that, but let me do this for you since I'm more familiar with the platform and what we're looking for. But thank you for opening the door. Go to iTunes or Apple Podcasts, subscribe, right, and then rate and review. It's not necessarily on the episode. Rate and review on the podcast as a whole. Don't do the extra work. You don't got to take a screenshot and send it to us. We're gonna look at those reviews, and we're gonna see who the new ones are, and we're gonna find that person, and we're gonna give you a bag of coffee, not just any coffee, Cesaro's coffee. So please hook us up, rate, review, iTunes.
Final thoughts for Soji. Do Mark Out follow other podcasts like Sledgehammer TV or Wrestle Talk? I like these guys. LOL. No, I've never heard of them. I do like the Refried podcast that one of our Bomb Squad members, Mr. Estrada, does.
I listen to other podcasts. I do not religiously, but just kind of see what they're talking about and kind of to see us, versus them. What we do.
I used to when I would travel more. I loved listening to them on a plane or driving.
I mean, I really enjoy the Conrad podcast.
That's a good one.
Those are great. But as far as the more reactionary, newsworthy kind of weekly podcasts that talk about the current events of wrestling, not on a religious basis.
Yeah, we let Brian do that for us.
Yeah,
I like the All Night Long Wrestling podcast. That's a good one.
You like anything that lasts all night long.
All night.
Yeah, Brian's drought continues. There's no all night for him.
End the show, Adam.
We will see you next time for the Marked Out Wrestling podcast. I'm Adam Baum, Rody Rob, and Biased Brian were with me. Tune in next time. Same smart time, same smart channel.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Marked Out Podcast is produced and edited by U-Record Studios and is recorded live from Charlotte, North Carolina. Subscribe, follow, and listen to us live following WWE programming on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Download the podcast by following us at podbean.com or subscribe on iTunes and Apple Podcasts. While you're there, go ahead and give us an honest and fair review and rating. Finally, if you have enjoyed our product and would like to see us grow, please donate to us by visiting the donation link below our live video, or you can donate via Venmo and Cash App at the handle Ravepro. That's RAVEPRO.
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.